Thank you for watching along for another Stamp Around UK, and this month we have got a sketch challenge to follow. So it's a lovely sketch and I'm going to create a card based on this design. So here's a sneak peek for you. This is Esther at Stampin' Star Creations. Please subscribe and comment below after the video is done. So I wanted to go for something autumnal, and you've got a hint on the side as to what I'm going to be working on. And I decided to use the plaid paper and use this paper as inspiration for my design. Then I'll be using jar of flowers and under my umbrella with some coordinating coloured blend pens. So using some Early Espresso, I'm going to stamp this sunflower image onto some Whisper White and going to get colouring in. So using the dark shades first, so this is Cinnamon Cider in the centre of the flowers. And then coming in with Pumpkin Pie, the darkest colour first. And then the lighter Pumpkin Pie. So I'm kind of doing what I call rough colouring, so using the broad tip of my pen just to get a lot of coverage and not being too careful because I'm laying down different colours so they're blending nicely as I go on top of each other. I am doing some partial colouring because I have already coloured in a set of flowers earlier that I'm going to use somewhere else on the card. So once my colouring is done, I'm going to fussy cut this out, and this gives me control as to which parts of the stamped image that I would like. I decided I was going to keep in a bit more foliage, so I kept the fern shape and then that little leaf at the bottom. So cut off your bulk first, and then it's easier to get into those smaller areas to fussy cut around the flowers. And then just filling in the blank spaces that hadn't got coloured earlier. And there's the other image that I did before. So next I'm using Mango Melody just to stamp my umbrella image on. And there's enough space on there to put the stick. And you can go ahead, and these fit neatly into the matching punch and they will punch out those shapes. So I've gone ahead and already cut down the plaid paper and some Whisper White as a matten layer to fit on it. The plaid paper is 3 7/8 of an inch by 5 5/8, and then the smaller size is 3.5 inches by 5 1/4, and that's the Whisper White. So just bringing on the sketch as a reminder and to figure out what is the next part. I'm just going to round off these corners as per the sketch. And then working on the circle. So I'm using 2 dies. The swirly one, which is from the Painted Labels dies, and then one of the stitched circle framelets to sit in the centre. So I decided to use copper and then the Whisper White for the stitched circle. I felt that the white paper in the background was a bit plain, so I'm doing some stamping off and doing second generation stamping and just using that circle as a guide as to where to put those stamped images. And just checking in with the rest of my elements that they fit in alright with the stamped images in the background. So using the ink that's left over on my stamps and just rubbing it with my blender brush and just giving it more of a rustic feel. I felt that the white was a bit stark, and just adding some brushed brown onto all the elements to just take off the starkness of the white on the edges. And the same treatment with the circle, and using a sentiment from the Under My Umbrella which says Hello Sunshine, and using the Early Espresso to keep in with the colour theme. So I did want to add a bit of a stitched element, so I'm using these nesting stitched dies, and it comes with this line of stitching, so it's long enough to fit on the top and the bottom, and so I just stuck to that rather than trying to do the whole border with the stitching. So sticking the elements together, adding in the umbrella onto the flowers as a guide tucking the flowers behind the circle and not forgetting the stick of the umbrella. So I'm bringing the flowers to the stick so that I can get the right spacing. And then I decided I was just going to round a couple of the corners of the plaid paper just to match the design as well. And then popping that all on a piece of Mango Melody cardstock. So for the banner across the centre, I recently got this Early Espresso ribbon and I thought, oh, that'd be nice to incorporate it into the back. Now I was trying to be, frugal with my ribbon. I've just trimmed the edge off and I thought, well, if I lay down the layers and rather than putting all that ribbon in the back, I'll just cut off the pieces that I don't need. But to be honest, there was so little that I saved that I don't know if I'd bother doing that again with this particular ribbon. And then it flicked off and I had to stick it down. Anyway, I got there in the end. So I was just using a bit of Stampin' Seal just to lay down my ribbon in the back. Adding some dimensions onto the flowers and then sticking that circle down with the tombow. So it was popping up a little bit, so I'm just laying down my punch on top. It acts as a great weight if you ever need to just hold down a piece while you're working on something else. So the flowers were poking out over the umbrella, so I'm just neatening that up before I stick down the umbrella. Bring in those lovely gold gilded jewels and just to add a little bit of sparkle to my card and figuring out where they should go. Once I figure out where they should go, then I'm happy to just press those on a bit more. And there is the sketch side to side with my card. I'm really pleased with the way this has come out and I think I'll be using this sketch again as a really lovely sketch to work with. Please don't forget to hop along and see what all the other UK demos have done with this same sketch. It's amazing what creativity can be interpreted. So please do follow the links below to find out what everyone else has done. Do subscribe to my channel. I'd appreciate your subscription and a thumbs up if you like today's card. Do comment below and let me know what you thought. Thank you very much.